This is Amie Waters, a musician in her early 30s who used YouTube and other online platforms to publish her original and cover music. On October 27, 2019, she announced on YouTube that she changed her name from Ace to Amie. In this video case study, I'm going to share with you how Amie Waters, a self-proclaimed trans synth queen, used her YouTube channel and other online platforms to explore her identity through musical content creation, and how the platform served as a performance venue that empowered her to share her journey. Amie's life was and still is influenced by her faith. However, formative moments while she was young affected how she viewed herself. Shame and unworthiness were prominent themes growing up in church. However, Youth Chapel was also a space in which Amie was able to play music with her peers and explore how music could be used to minister to others. Music was a large part of how Amie worked through her emotions, and her music also let her display her identity to listeners. As a young adult, she started creating music under the name "A Motive Makes a Man," which was a counterpoint to a conversation she had with her pastor, who said that clothing makes a man. She soon pivoted from creating music that she called preachy to writing songs that told stories. Music storytelling helped Amie find her own voice, and at the suggestion of multiple friends, she began publishing music under her given name, Ace Waters. Her videos usually featured her hands playing synthesizers, fretted strings, and percussion instruments. Occasionally, she would sing. She augmented her videos with visual elements including lights, filters, and split screens that gave her viewers multi-sensory entertainment. For each track she recorded, she performed in her attic studio while listening to the ensemble she was creating. Amie always loved playing video games, and performing video game music covers became a staple in her YouTube channel. But Amie didn't want to be known as a video game musician or be identified as a YouTube musician. It was just a genre, or it was just one platform in which she could share her music. She was also a musician who played at church, on her front porch, and even busked in the streets. She always wanted to be a musician first, and her music helped her express her identity. Amie's hands were prominent in her videos, and sometimes she would wear nail polish, something she thought was awesome that dudes could wear as well as women. In her older videos, a large surly beard covered her face, and she wore oversized hoodies, clothing that she said allowed her to hide in. Amie's original work helped her deal with her past and work through moments of her life, including the death of her grandpa, moments of crisis in her faith, and the reconstruction of her spirituality. For Amie, music was her therapy. Amie's music helped her work through her thoughts, emotions, and feelings. In turn, music brought healing into her life. Her compositions were stories she told that reflected her struggles, triumphs, and experiences. Reflections about her life and music were also shared through vlogging.
What this led to was me feeling this constant need to be making more thing that I was dealing with. It's really unhealthy, and it was never going to last. And last year, around December, I crashed really hard.
I am the fire, the forest my yard. Watch me burn it all down.
During Pride season in 2018, Amie came out as bisexual to her fans online. Her realization that she was a bisexual person was the culmination of support and healing that took place at her church, with her friends and family, and online through reflective blogging and virtual communities. A year later, on June 22, 2019, Amie released Bisexual Space Magic, an EP that sonically represented her sexuality. Amie found empowerment and healing through making music. She also experienced overwhelming support from her online communities of listeners and friends. She felt encouraged by her fans on YouTube, Twitter, and Patreon, and she realized that telling others about her journey through words and her music could help others feel that they were not alone. After Amie's partner had come out as non-binary, Amie started to explore her own gender identity, which until that point was gender apathetic. Amie started trying on feminine clothes and explored other ways to alter her appearance, including shaving her beard and other visible body hair, like on her arms. She started to let the hair on her head grow out, and she began to no longer identify as a dude. She spent many late nights on Reddit forums exploring the trans community, reading people's stories, and soon she felt like she was inside an egg that was ready to crack open. A major catalyst for Amie to come out as trans was when Maddie Thorson, the creator of the game Celeste, came out on International Non-Binary Day 2019. Amie's journey to becoming a trans synth queen involved many comings out, both online and offline. Amie's nuclear family lived with her day to day and helped her through her identity journey. Close friends were some of the first she came out to. She also used her blog as a space to gather her thoughts, all while working through her feelings in her music. She then came out to her Twitter following because extended family who she was not ready to tell were not on the platform. She felt Twitter was a safer space to gain the support and momentum she needed to share her gender with others. She then told her extended family and finally disclosed her gender to her YouTube audience.
Hey, it's been a while. If you don't follow me on social media, and you're only following me on the channel, you only see my hands, so you might not know about some of the changes I've been going through, and something I've actually always known, that I don't really identify as a dude. I just used to think that because of that, there was no such thing as gender identity. But what I realized, and this kind of came out of a long period of the last few years of me learning how to value myself, learning healthy self-worth, and learning kind of how to love myself after spending the majority of my life not knowing how to do that. I realized that there is something there, because the moment I started to embrace femininity, the moment I started to embrace more feminine things, it started to well up something very powerful inside of me. And that's kind of led me on this journey to embracing the fact that I'm trans. I identify as a non-binary trans femme person, female pronouns, female titles. I'm changing my name to Amie. This is who I am now.
Amie wondered if she would lose YouTube subscribers and, more importantly, Patreons, those who supported her financially for creating online content. After coming out, she was ecstatic to find that not a single Patreon stopped supporting her because she was trans. Amie began to take pride in the way she looked. She started wearing cardigans, skirts, and more colorful nail polish. She felt more comfortable on screen, and this was evident in the way she played her instruments, how much she showed of herself, and her body language. On June 12, 2020, Amie released Cosmos of the Soul, an instrumental queer space opera that tells the story of her exploring her identity and accepting herself as a non-binary trans woman. Amie's YouTube channel was a medium that reflected her offline life. She was able to explore her gender, sexuality, and emotions through the music she created. Her videos gave audiences glimpses of her everyday life and her gender journey. And the community that formed around her online content provided support to her as she came out and further explored the cosmos of her soul.